You guys have access to the week? Okay, perfect. All right. So give you guys a chance to join. I see 11 of y'all. Just wait on a handful more while I take attendance real quick. Okay. Taking a quick, is Colin here? I think everybody's here again, right? Looks like it. All right, sweet. Good deal. Good morning as well. Okay, I see 13 of us in here, so I assume that's everybody who's going to be joining. If you find your way to your agenda, your thread for this week, there's a lot of links as well as the breakdown of finals week. So like I mentioned last week, you have two options for this class to create as your final project. We'll break those down today, as well as what I'm looking for each. But before we do that, let's talk about finals week. So if you're not aware yet, if you haven't seen, next week is our finals week. It's the last in-class work time you'll have available for these projects. So you can work on them outside of class. I'm not requiring it. But since I want you guys to make a quality product, you may want to put some finishing touches on these things outside of class. If you need help, if you're doing a digital file and you need help setting up the programs at your home computer, I am happy to help you with that as well. But let's just focus on the times for now. So Monday the 24th, or the 22nd, excuse me, is a regular day, regular 7-period day. And we'll get into the timelines here in just a second. Tuesday, you guys have a half day. It's just first and second period. Wednesday is a full day, focusing on 3rd, 4th, and 5th finals. Thursday is a half day, 6th and 7th. And then you have no school on Friday, but I do. So I'm still accessible. You can still reach out to me. I'll be here. But at that point, you guys have submitted your finals. So it's mostly just making sure that everything looks good while I grade those and get your grades up to date. That's next week. So in order to talk about the timeline, we need to talk about your two final options here. They are a final project or multiple projects together, or a portfolio. So let's look at option number 1 first. In the agenda, these are links that will take you directly to the Canvas page that talks about each of these assignments. So final.proj, because it's if we go to the modules real quick, there is a new finals module right here. There's final.proj, which is the option 1 for a project, and then you submit it here. And then there's final.port, which is a portfolio, which you will also submit there. You do not have to do both. The one that you choose will get graded and the other one will just get excused. But I want you guys to have the option to flex your creative muscles a little bit and come up with something cool that we covered from this class. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. So the final option 1 is a project. For this option, you may create any project of your choice that demonstrates one or more topics we covered this semester. This can be anything of your choosing, and you have creative freedom on this assignment, this project, but you must create a high quality artwork or multiple that you are proud to show off. Okay, that's basically it. I want you guys to give me a demonstration of the things that you've learned, combining them all together into a final project that exemplifies, shows off all of your skills. And you have until the 25th to do it. That is what, 13 days? It's the last time that things are due, by midnight. So you have lots of time. However, because this is so general and everyone's going to go in a specific direction, there are a couple guidelines that I'm looking for that this project must include. Guidelines and requirements as well. So the guidelines, you should be demonstrating understandings of multiple topics that we covered in class. And those main topics were perspective, anatomy and anatomy details, character design, and some animation. So you must have detail or examples of that in your final. There must be some kind of story. You have to develop a character like we did with those guiding questions a long time ago about character design or about environment design. There needs to be some kind of evidence of story or lore inside of your final project. It needs to be fully completed in detail using your class time effectively, and you must submit it in time, which is Thursday, dropped my pen, Thursday the 25th by midnight. The requirements for your actual submission, I need pictures of your work in progress, so construction drawings. Steps along the way, again, those are in progress, so there's a varying level of completion, but they do need to be submitted. You need to upload your submission in time, and school appropriate mostly just means that I don't want projects that are obviously going to get you or me in trouble based on their content. However, I know that you guys are, you're approaching adulthood, so there are themes that can be discussed through your artwork, since artwork is a way that we process things. I'm willing to let you guys explore those a little bit. I'm not saying make me something gory and graphic and violent, because obviously that will get all of us in trouble. But if you're wanting to go in a direction that maybe you feel for school isn't what you would typically do, just run it by me and I will let you know whether or not I think that's a good idea. But I want you guys to still have that creative freedom to kind of tap into your artistic abilities. And sometimes when you do that, it goes a little bit from what's typically school appropriate. Does that make sense? Again, it's just kind of the line of don't make something obviously bad, but if it is a little bit less than what you would make for another school project, we can work with it, is my point on that. Okay. If there's no questions on that, I'm going to move forward. I don't anticipate you guys are going to go too crazy, but if you do, it's okay, is what I'm saying. Okay, so the timeline this week, the 16th to the 19th. So today you need to decide your option, which we'll go over the second one here in a second. Gather some inspiration, make some mood boards, do some sketches, right? Some warm-ups, and start drafting your project. That can be just writing out a list of lore that you want to create or developing a character that'll go in an environment. Whatever drafting works for you, you should start doing that today. Your next full day, you should finalize and present your idea to me for feedback so I can make sure that we're all good and that it's a good example of your skills. And then you'll just continue working. Friday's a work day, and then your finals day is all work days, and you have the entire finals week to turn this assignment in. This also goes for the option 2, the portfolio. All right, so that's the timeline we're working with here. Does that make sense so far? All right, sweet. So let's talk about option number 2, which you can also click on from announcements, but it's final.port. So if you don't want to create a project that exemplifies the things that we covered, an interest or a project that is new and you haven't done before, exploring the things we've covered, you can create a portfolio. This is the option number 2, which you will choose a collection of your favorite assignments, projects, or artworks that we attempted over the semester, and then create a reflection of your artistic journey from our semester. With the portfolio, with option number 2, this can be only assignments from class. This can be an example of the topic in your own separate work. So you can bring something that you've already completed that exemplify these. But ideally, you can have a combination of both. I'm looking for what you practiced in class, as well as what you practice outside of class, to create a full demonstration of your skills that you've covered from this semester. Similar setup here. The guidelines on this should include assignments, projects, examples of multiple topics, the same topics from earlier that we covered in class. You should have evidence of practice. So you should have lots of different drafts, lots of different unfinished works, right? Improvements in small ways, multiple attempts, exercises, things like that. I want evidence that you were trying different things for this portfolio in order to get it to work. Same thing, fully completed in detail using time effectively. That's different from the project. For the portfolio, fully completed just means your pieces are all there and your reflection is complete. Not necessarily the projects inside of them are complete, because this is more about showing off your work as compared to actually practicing your work. And then same thing, submitted in time. The requirements for this one, you need pictures of the works that you're talking about, some written reflection documenting your learning or your experience, and I will provide a template for you guys to kind of like a worksheet for you to answer questions on to help you develop your reflection. And then same thing, final submission uploaded in time, and it's school appropriate as well. The timeline for this guy, very similar. Today, you need to pick your options and you need to research or review your past works and start collecting some examples, should you choose option number 2. On Thursday, you finalize and present your progress to me for feedback. You'll continue collecting examples and then doing your reflections. Same thing, Thursday or Friday and your work day. It's all work time all the way to the 25th at 11:59 p.m. So you have lots of time to complete these final options, okay? Now that you've seen both options, if I open them up, we have option 1 of the project or option 2 of the portfolio. Does anybody have any questions on what I'm asking of this final? Yes.
Can we use Adobe Illustrator?
You can use Adobe Illustrator. So everybody's clear on what I'm asking for this final, right? This makes sense? Yes,
So can this be like both digital or traditional?
yeah, it can be digital or traditional. There's a lot of creative freedom with this. So I also want to encourage, I've been talking to my other classes about this. Just because this is your final does not mean I'm a resource you can no longer access. Okay? This isn't a test in the traditional sense where you're proving your knowledge of a subject to me. This is an interaction between the two of us where I want you to demonstrate what I showed you or what you've learned, but I am still available to help you kind of guide you on the right track. I'm not a wall that you can't access anymore. I am still available to answer your questions throughout this final project. Does that make sense? Okay, I just want you guys to be clear that I'm not just sending you out and then ignoring you for the next week. Just want you to know I am still available for questions. Okay? Just kind of generally speaking, who wants to do option one? Who wants to do a final project? You're not locked in until the end of the day. Okay? Who wants to do option two? Who wants to do a portfolio? Anybody? Okay, that's fine. If you change your mind, you have until the end of the period today, but you need to make a decision by the end of the period today. Option one or option two. Okay, does that sound good? All right, now, since I mentioned you guys are becoming adults, you need to understand how to manage your time effectively. Okay, everyone's going to be going in different directions with this, so everyone's going to be at different points at different times. You need to use your class time effectively, and I'm giving you lots of class time to use effectively, so please use it. All right? That's my spiel. Before I let you guys start, does anybody have any questions? Or are we all clear on what I'm asking for the final? No? All right, cool. Go ahead and get started.